Hello everyone, this is Bobbin Threadbare and welcome back to BioShock Infinite.
The common complaint I hear from the working man is that they are unhappy.
That would be your gunsmith. Who sent you to find this person?
Daisy Fitzroy.
She's either a great hero or the worst of scoundrels, depending on who's doing the telling.
She's good for an airship. I don't care if she's the Queen of Holland.
Responsibilities and worry. You do your job, you eat your food.
Oh hey,
Sleep. Simplicity is dream.
looks more like a poison posse. Guess they must just be inspecting it. Doesn't look like there's anything wrong. Aside from those prices, hey.
More money. Okay, catch.
Captured by man, used to tame the Bucky.
Aha! Makes me glad they've got that little item shine thing going on. But once again, we're in a peaceful zone, so I can't just nail the vending machines without getting a lot of trouble down on my head. A lot of people waiting around here.
Welcome to Fink Industries Recruitment. We are not looking for any help. You hear that? No help.
How are we going to get into Finktown?
Illegally. Let's look for another way in.
Fink Industries is not recruiting at this time. Please come again.
You know, you'd think we wouldn't be the first ones to think of an illegal way into Finktown.
Sorry, sir, but I was led to understand that there was work here. All my forms are in order.
Be that as it may, we are at quota.
But I spent all I had left on the jitney from Baxtontown, sir.
Well, we're taking all the Class C hirelings we intend to take on at present, okay?
What if I come back tomorrow?
As of now, you don't work for Mr. Fink, so you are free to run hither and yon.
The truth is, I don't have a lot of time for all that prophecy nonsense. I tell you, belief is just a commodity. Old Comstock, well, he does produce, but like any tradesman, he's obliged to barter his product for the earthly ores. You see, one does not raise a barn on song alone. No, sir. That's Fink timber, a Fink hammer, and Fink's hand to swing it. He needs me, lest he soil his own.
Interesting. Basically, a guy realizes that,
Elizabeth?
I can do that.
can't run a city on faith alone.
There you go.
You know, fair enough. We're really filling out the shields now. Won't be much longer. Alright, now let's get back to where we need to go, which is just down the stairs here.
Fancy putting those lock-picking skills to work?
All done. Over there, a service elevator. Should take us down to Finktown.
And get ourselves killed in the bargain.
Yep, there's a Patriot right there, front and center. That'll be a problem. Well, let's see what damage this volley.
We hold these truths to be self-evident.
Luckily, Patriots make a pretty good... Ah, crap. Came from upstairs. Man, 3 shots each, though? That's kind of lame. But as I was saying, Patriots make a very excellent decoy.
Keep firing!
Man, this is just chipping away at that damage. Yeah, I know. They're behind him and he's facing me and... whatever. Yeah, honestly, the volley gun isn't doing that much more damage than my carbine is. That's good news, at least. Alright, there we go. That did some damage. I don't know. This volley gun just isn't performing as well as I remembered.
Sorry, that's all I've got.
At least melee is nice and effective. Plus, these are just the police officers. They got like the least health out of anybody. And he's still not dead there. Jeez. Alright, yeah, the volley gun I don't think is going to be it's not going to be sticking around.
The gunsmith Chen Lin, wanted for known connections to the outlaw Daisy Fitzroy.
Looks like our guy's drawn attention.
That's not good, is it?
No. You want to take a look at this?
Really? That little old lock.
Yeah,
Ready.
sure. Shotgun's fine. Does a lot of damage. Up close, but still. I got a nice variety here, but... Nah, not for a reload time. Damage boost, though. Yeah.
You hold on to this. Catch, Mr. DeWitt.
I mean, on the plus side, you do get a lot more money towards the end of the game. It starts really pouring in. So you can actually start to afford some of those more expensive, or really just all of the upgrades all at once. Lots of nice stuff around here. I wonder if I can go back upstairs or not. I mean, it would make sense. Who throws away a machine gun like that? Wastebasket is not the proper container for one of those.
I hold in my hand the private journal of Comstock's wife. It puts the lie to this miracle child nonsense. She loved the child not. It seems the sainted lady would have preferred to let the seed of the prophet just dry out on the bedsheets.
Booker. It's Slate's locker. He must have worked here. This is my mother's diary. Why would Slate have it? husband claims the child was created from whole cloth by divine will. I am a believer, but I am not a fool. His bastard shall not be raised under this roof. My mother, she had me locked in that tower.
Elizabeth.
I just want to get out of this city. Please.
I think it's a little more complicated than that, what with the whole giant-ass siphon thing. But yeah, maybe she's the reason it wasn't installed in their house.
Greetings. My name is Jeremiah Fink, and I want to share with you my personal creed. What is the most admirable creature on God's green earth? Why, it's the bee! Have you ever seen a bee on vacation? Have you ever seen a bee take a sick day? Well, my friends, the answer is no. So I say, be the bee! Be the bee!
Thought they were supposed to be oxes. What?
Maybe you should get that.
Fine.
Hello?
Mr. DeWitt?
Yes?
Hold for Mr. Fink, please.
What's going on?
DeWitt, Fink here. Listen, my boy, we've had our eye on you, and I can tell you right now that you are our top candidate. Top! Now, my associate, Mr. Flambeau, will help you with anything you need.
What the hell was that?
I have no idea.
He seems oddly pleased to make your acquaintance.
You know, Fink is actually pretty progressive hiring a woman to be his secretary.
Well, the man's got an ego.
Okay, so here's a question. How did he even know we were in that elevator?
Now, some say to me, Fink, why is it that we get paid in tokens that are only good at the company store? Well, I'll tell you what, I'll be damned if I let any of you poor folk get robbed at some shady establishment. You see, the Fink company store brings you Fink products at a price designed specifically for the Fink worker.
Mr. DeWitt, welcome to Finktown.
I'll bet.
You'll find a variety of supplies here that should see you through your visit.
What does Mr. Fink want with us?
Excuse me, miss, but Mr. Fink's interest is strictly in the gentleman.
But why?
So sorry, young miss, but any questions regarding the gentleman's application should be taken up with Mr. Fink directly.
Does this strike you as good news? Doesn't strike me as good news. What do you think? Head to the gunsmith or scavenge supplies by that clock shop?
15 minutes. 15 minutes now, bid 14. Will you give me 14? 10. 10 minutes bid, now 10. Will you give me 9? 9. I bid 9. Bid, now 9. Will you give me 8? 9 minutes bid, now 9. 8. 8 minutes bid, now 8. 7 and a half. 7 and a half.
6 minutes and 15 seconds.
6 minutes and 5.
5 minutes 50. I could do 5 and 50.
5 and 50. I said 5 and 50. Anyone lower than 5 and 50? Toll Porter goes from the worker in the blue shirt.
Hyenas. The troublemakers who only serve to rile
Need a
up
pipe
the
fitter
camp.
here. Crimp a pipe on Pearl Street. Starting bid of 20 minutes. Can I get 19? 18. 18 minutes bid, now 18. 17. 17 minutes bid, now 17. 14. 14 minutes bid, now 14. 10. 10, now 10. 9 and 50. 9 and 50. Any lower now? 9 and 10. 9 and 10. 9, 8 and 33. I hear 8 and 33. 8 and 33. 8 and 33. We got our fitter in the green shirt.
I need this job.
sent me. There's no more work today. Disperse! Disperse!
No, I gotta work!
My family's gotta eat! We need work! Work! Work!
Move it!
Work!
Move it!
Disperse! Disperse!
Kind of a nasty trick Fink's pulling here. He's making sure there are too many workers for the job, so they are forced to basically beg for the best deals they can get. Which, well, you just saw, aren't that much.
Lately, I've been hearing a whole mess of funny new ideas. Paid vacation, 8-hour days, workers' compensation. Those are anarchist words, my friends. And the anarchist is the friend of hunger, the comrade of want, and the partner of disease. And I, for one, will be goddamned if I'm going to let an anarchist come between you and your livelihood.
Here's some cash.
Got it.
Gotta love how, those are actually socialist, communist words.
Did you take a look at this lock?
Oh, this won't take long at all.
But back in the day,
There.
Specifically before the communists took over Russia, everyone just sort of mistook them for...
That poster. There's another cipher on it.
Huh. So we need to find the code book?
Yes. Looks like everything's being pounded at the Good Time Club. Maybe that's where we'll find it.
Back in the day, everybody confused socialists and communists and all those folks with anarchists. Anarchist was basically the big boogeyman. But then, like I said, communists actually managed to take over the country, so they got to be the boogeymen after that. I wonder if anarchists actually could take over a country. Odd thoughts. Ah, crap. Got a little too close to the police line, I guess. But hey, now I can test out my new hand cannon. And I like the damage.
We have to work 16 hours a day.
Oh, hey. Yeah, I'm definitely liking this.
But the fact is, I simply can't.
Doesn't look like we can enter now.
Well,
What do you mean? The door just opened.
morality. You see, my friends, the idle hand is the tool of the devil. You take industry from a man's hand. What goes in its place? Whiskey, women, and dice. And I, for one, will not have that in our friendly little town. No, sir. I will not.
Fink sure has a lot to say, doesn't he? You know, 3 shots, but that's still pretty good. So the thing is that the hand cannon doesn't actually have that much ammunition for it, but each shot deals so much damage. That actually makes up for the difference.
Do it.
There.
Weird.
Hear that? Music. It's coming from that tear.
I never heard that song before.
I don't suspect anyone's heard that song.
Well, someone's heard that song. Oh, rotten apple. Gotta watch out for those. Minus health. Luckily, toolbox cakes are just fine. Alright, well, we don't need to enter the Good Time Club just yet. Factory's also locked off here. But then, it's not like we have to visit either one at this point.
Here it is, Booker. Chen Lin, gunsmith.
Happy with your pay? Well, be of good cheer. History tells us the painter Seurat would take no money for his art. Why, the presidency, he were paid a single dollar a year. So, don't let money come between you and your craft.
Why, yes, rich people who don't have to worry about their incomes will refuse money. Go figure, right? It doesn't look like there's anything new here.
You hold on to this.
Great.
Yeah, there's... I will admit, it's a noble act to, not take money.
I have a pressing need to speak to this so-called false shepherd, stirring up so much trouble. We got enough problems without this damn fool shooting up the city and blaming it all on the Vox. Though if he's amiable, yeah, he might be just the fellow we need for our immediate concerns.
Wonder what that's doing in Chen Lin's establishment. But, yeah, there is something noble about not accepting money when you don't need it. But there is nothing ignoble about accepting money when you do need it. Got a nice big furnace here, even though nobody's feeding it. Guess he must have been picked up recently or something. And yeah, he's not here. That's... I mean, his name's on the side of the building.
I've read about this. It's Gautama Buddha.
Who?
The founder of Buddhism. Spent 49 days under a Bodhi tree until he achieved enlightenment.
Something tells me Comstock doesn't cater to idols getting worshipped that ain't him.
Looks like he also worships the celestial dragon. Wonder why she doesn't mention that.
Hello? Hello? Mr. Lin? Chen Lin? Is anybody here?
What happened?
Someone worked this place over. Local constabulary, no doubt.
Yeah, it's no real surprise.
You hear that? There's someone downstairs.
I mean, his name's on the side of the building and on the wanted poster. So unless he is far away from here, then yeah, he's been captured. Not easy to hide in this situation.
Excuse me. Ma'am, I'm sorry to bother you. We're looking for Mr. Lin. Mr. Chen Lin.
Booker.
Mr. Lin, not here. He gone.
Gone?
They take flying squad. I pray, Gautama Buddha. Pray, give husband back. Give back to Melin.
Where did they take him?
Club. Everyone take to Good Time Club.
Where is this club? Ma'am, please, where is this club?
Booker, we'll find it. Just leave her be.
Why not Vox Populi help Chen Lin? Why not Daisy Fitzroy help Chen Lin?
Who are the flying squad?
Cops. The kind who probably got their boot on Lin's throat asking him how well he knows Daisy Fitzroy.
Isn't she the one we're working for?
As a matter of fact, it is. All right, now let's figure out where this Good Time Club is.
Surprised she, isn't making a bigger deal about this, since, according to the last place we were at, Daisy Fitzroy killed her mother.
Handyman, over there!
Oh, hello there. Well, that failed completely. Looks like that isn't working much either. But I think he flinched when I used the ravens. It's kind of hard to tell with how much he's jumping around here. Yeah, he's definitely flinching. I mean, not as often as I would like. But it's better than him not flinching, I'll tell you that. But yeah, say hello to our Big Daddy representative.
Hey, catch!
That'll do!
Ah, shit. Okay, Bucking Bronco failed to lift him off the ground. Well, looks like fire left an impression at least. Damn.
I don't much care for you, Mr. DeWitt. I must admit, you know your way around a brawl.
I'll say so. Ooh. I think it's better than that. But yeah, the Good Time Club is not terribly hard to find.
I'm sorry about what I said at the docks. Calling you a thug.
Yeah. Can't see how I might have changed your sense of that.
You protected me.
Job's a job.
Yeah, he still pretty much is a thug here. Alright, what's this all about? Ah, there it is. Oh, now that's some nice synergy right there.
There it is, Mr. DeWitt.
Now we just need to head inside and find Mr. Lin. And just call me Booker.
Well, that's interesting. So, the American labor movement is another one of those really big topics that's hard to cover in just one corner. Fortunately, Finktown is going to be our location of choice for quite a while yet, so once again I'll be dividing up the topic. For today's History Corner, I will present a quick overview of the concept of labor, and then discuss what it means to live in a company town. The uniquely common resource. However much we may wish it were otherwise, labor is an economic resource just as much as any other. When demand goes up or supply goes down for a particular profession, the value of labor increases. And when demand goes down or supply goes up, the value of labor decreases. No matter what your economic or social policy may be, there's no getting around that fact. On the other hand, labor is also a very unique resource. The money you spend on labor is not sunken, not like with most resource purchases, it's fluid. And that means two things. The first is that, from the perspective of the investor, money spent on labor is money you will never see again. With other resources, they're yours until you choose to sell them again, preferably at a profit. But with labor, the resource is spent as fast as you pay for it. Of course, what's really going on is that labor works the same way as electricity. It powers the process that converts input resources into output resources. And so the cost of electricity and labor is factored into the value of the processed resources. In other words, then, labor is not an investment, it is a multiplication technique. Of course, not everybody sees it like that. The idea behind slavery and serfdom is to turn labor into an investable resource, one with an upkeep cost, but still. Slavery confers two advantages to the slave owners. First, by making labor an investment, it makes it possible to raise and train slaves and then sell them off for a profit. Second, the slave owner can save a significant amount of money by using slaves instead of free labor, especially for jobs that are highly unpleasant or dangerous and require little skill. Normally, such high-demand, low-supply jobs would command a high price, but coerced labor has different market forces than free labor does. But then there's that other unique aspect of labor. Money spent on labor returns to the economy. Employees buy things with their wages, and if they have extra wages, they buy extra things. These extra things can be upgrades to the necessities like higher quality food, a better apartment or house, or else more expensive entertainments. And keep in mind, entertainment is a necessity. This money they spend becomes the profit of other companies. Profit those companies spend on their employees, and on other companies who provide them with the supplies and equipment they need to operate. The only limitation is how much a company can afford to spend on its employees. To invest in the workforce is to invest in the macroeconomy. And so countries with stronger labor laws will, for the most part, have better economies than countries with weaker labor laws. At least assuming these laws don't factor into a larger scheme of corruption. But here's the point. Every economy is ultimately a consumer economy. Because if you're selling something that nobody's buying, then you won't be selling it for very long. As such, when you multiply and strengthen the purchasing power of consumers, you multiply and strengthen the economy. See, the trouble with concentrating wealth on a few individuals is that they hoard it instead of spending it and therefore enriching the economy. It's not a matter of intent. It's just that there's only so much one person can consume in one lifetime. A powerful nation is one which understands that money is only as good as the things you spend it on. The company town. You load 16 tons, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. Those song lyrics are a fairly apt way of describing the situation which faced a lot of workers in the 19th and early 20th centuries. Like any other terrible idea, company towns sounded like a good idea at the time. For some industries, you have to go where the resources are. Mines, forests, tar pits, places like that. Of course, if there's no town near enough to house all the workers, then somebody's got to build a new one. So who's going to foot the bill? Well, why not have the company pay for it? You know, the one that owns the mine, or the logging camp, or the tar pit, or whatever. In fact, why should they limit themselves to building just the housing projects? They could build all the community buildings, including the government seat, the churches, the stores, everything. Just like a caring father, the company will look after all its workers' every need. Some companies manage to pull off this approach without getting too abusive about the situation, but others just couldn't resist squeezing the margins. Now, companies didn't actually pay their employees in nothing but company scrip, like what Fink said earlier, but for a while that was effectively the situation once all was said and done. A company would pay its workers only once or twice a month, and if a worker needed money before then, he could draw his outstanding wages in company scrip, which was only good at company stores. If he happened to draw all his wages as scrip, then that's effectively what he's being paid in. But again, this isn't necessarily a bad idea. Company stores generally had higher prices than other places, but that's because of the added cost of moving goods to the middle of nowhere. Then again, the company may hike up the prices to fleece their workers and guarantee that they'll be in debt to the company forever. If your money's only good at the company store, doesn't even matter if a competitor comes to town. Mind you, things got steadily better as the labor movement took hold and the government passed laws to protect workers. For instance, in 1918, the Supreme Court ruled that company scrip is transferable, which means that non-company stores can accept scrip in place of money and then redeem it with the company themselves. After that, scrip gradually became more of a discount system of company store coupons, and it survived as such into the 1960s. One of the classic examples of company town abuse is Pullman, Illinois. Today, Pullman is a part of Chicago, but 100 years ago it was a company town, organized by the Pullman Company, which was rather famous for its train cars back in the day. The company suffered a downturn after the 1893 Depression, which is actually the second worst or the overall worst depression in U.S. history, depending on the metrics you're using. The 1893 Depression was caused in large part by rampant railroad speculation, so it's no wonder that Pullman took a big hit and had to reduce employee wages. However, they did not reduce rent on apartments in Pullman, Illinois, and because the employees couldn't afford their rent, and by contract they weren't allowed to move to cheaper places nearby, the situation led to the Pullman strike of 1894. The strike was squashed by the federal government after 2 months, but on the plus side, it brought about the declaration of Labor Day as a national holiday. Company towns and company stores are pretty rare these days, and there's actually one specific reason why that is: the automobile. Having a car gives workers the opportunity to drive to wherever the best bargains are, and so isolation was no longer a means to force workers into paying absurd prices. The auto industry also gave birth to the trucking business, and this also served to drive down prices in places that were once hard to reach. Personal thoughts. I suppose I don't have much to say on this occasion, except maybe there is nothing new under the sun. The struggle between employers and employees is eternal, and throughout history there have been 3 factors which have proven more important than any others: mobility, organization, and rarity. Employers have the advantage when they have plenty of applicants, the workers are unable by force or by situation to bargain collectively, and any abused workers are unable to get out of their situation. It's for this reason that Fink intentionally brought too many people up to Columbia for the number of low-skilled jobs available. And since he presumably doesn't sell parachutes at the company store, the workers are stuck in Finkton living on Fink's terms. Today, workers are having to compete internationally because of free trade agreements and the steady improvement of transportation technology. This really isn't a process that can be stopped, no matter how many protests the unions sponsor. It's been going on since at least back to when the Portuguese rounded the Horn of Africa. International competition has the effect of lowering the value of workers everywhere by increasing competition, but it has a second effect. Factories, however exploitative, bring workers together and give them the chance to organize to a degree that you can't match with a bunch of small scattered villages. And wages, however low, are still more than you would see with sustenance farming. The world would be a better place if no one was ever exploited. But given a choice of exploitation methods, factory work is honestly a better option than field work. Historically, at least, industrialization tends to lead to greater equality, whether the national governments like it or not. And it's because of that concentration, the ability of the workers to organize themselves. You can see this beginning to take hold in China today. Chinese employees are demanding and getting better pay and benefits. And so Chinese business owners are starting to outsource to South Asia and Africa to find cheaper workers. In the end, I think we should all remember the central message inherent to every union. We're all in this together. Thanks for joining me again in History Corner, and I hope I'll see you soon.